por futebol, bem-vindos ao canal. E com a chegada da esperada semifinal entre Real Madrid e City pela Champions League, o mundo está de olho para saber como Vinícius Jr vai se sair nesse jogo, já que ao mesmo tempo que ele vem sendo um dos jogadores mais determinantes do Real, ele também vem perdendo a cabeça em vários jogos devido às provocações, principalmente em jogos da La Liga. Confiram o que jornalistas europeus falaram sobre esse tema, já se inscrevam aí no canal e bora!
Like Jules, this is the Vinícius stat that gets me. This season, he has 10 yellow cards in La Liga.
That's crazy.
Again, in the big five European leagues, Tati Castellanos is the only one who has more, and he has 11 among wingers and
in
forwards,
that kind of position.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, defensive midfielders will get more. That is a ton. And if you look at the list of ones that have the most, it's generally guys who play for bad teams who don't have much of the ball, or it's often like burly strikers who, physically engaged defenders. Like Ivan Toney, I think, is it's guys like that. He's got 10 in La Liga. He's got 5 in the Copa del Rey. I, off the top of my head, I'm guessing he must have played maybe 40 games in that competition.
More,
like
maybe,
that. In the Champions League, where Real Madrid have played 10 games, he only has 1.
Yeah.
Is this a thing? Does it mean he gets officiated differently in the Champions League?
I don't know if it's the officiating. I think the environment is certainly very, very different. What he has in Europe than what he has in La Liga, where he's clearly the target everywhere, especially away from home. I'd be interesting to know, not for now, but how many of those 10s were at the Bernabeu or away from home. And I wouldn't be surprised if most of them were away from home, where clearly the provocation on him is quite high, the environment is quite toxic. We mentioned the racial abuse, of course, but even beyond that, if we can call it that way, where I think they just wind him up all the time. They go after him, they go, and if it's not a foul physically, like, I kind of smash into you, then it would be the verbal provocation, all of that, which I don't think is right. And we've said that before. It's not me trying to defend Vinícius. It's just that this is not an environment where you should be playing football when you're one of the best players in the world, or even a random player. And I think certainly in Europe is very, very different. We've seen a lot of the Real Madrid games in Europe this season where you never had that kind of tension that you could see in La Liga's game, for example.
Yeah, it is a good point. Also, obviously, when Real Madrid play, like Barcelona too, especially away from home, it's like the game of the season for a lot of the opposition. So you've got that.
Yeah, but it's the same for City or PSG or Bayern Munich, and none of their forwards have that kind of yellow cards.
And that gets me to wonder. This can become an issue. This can become an issue because yellow cards. First of all, you're one mistake away from a red card. I know he doesn't do much defending or track back at all, but it is something that has to be in your mind. And second of all, obviously, you pick up suspensions. I find it weird that I feel like over the last 2 years he's matured tremendously as a player on the pitch and in the contributions he gives. But this is something that, with 2 years of Ancelotti, I would have thought this is something you stamp out.
He's still young,
He's not Rodrigo. He's not Rodrigo young. What is he, 23 now? Yeah,
but he's still young. Again, is there any other players in that kind of position and situation than VINI this season or in the past 2 seasons that is the target like that?
Wingers, players who are targeted because they're the best player on their team.
Yeah, but look, look at Jack Grealish. Okay, Jack Grealish, there's a lot of fouls committed on him, but there's none of the rest that Vinícius is going through right now. I think he's a unique case in a way, and that's why I think maybe I think your point is valid. I think he will learn a lot from what is happening. I think he will mature even more on how to not to react on the pitch, not to fall into the provocation, not to do this, and it'd be interesting to see if the pattern of yellow cards continues in next season, for example, or not. But surely there will be a point where he will be able to handle it better, maybe than what he's done. Better.